Hey, it is 7 o'clock straight up. It's Boogie with the Bull Uncensored. That means it's not just politics, it's whatever comes out of the mouths of me and the rest of the babes that will be here. People invited to drop by tonight were Randy Rhodes, Jen Woodruff, Jerry Michaels, I think, is on his way here. Michael Anthony was going to stop by if he could do so. But tonight it's really simple. It's just like it always is a conversation between the rambling tones of my mouth and anyone who is watching. We are live on Facebook on the Dave Logan profile, the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot Talk public group here on Facebook, and over on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. We are there. All three places have a live chat. If you've never been on a Boogie with the Bull live chat and you're watching on Facebook, if you have a minute, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Yeah, I forgot to put it in the banners again. StreamYard.com/Facebook. Put that into your browser. Scroll about halfway down that page. It says give permission. Click on that. You got to give StreamYard permission to use your Facebook profile and picture. And makes it a whole lot easier. You just come up right on the screen. I see you, and you don't get your comments missed if you are watching on Facebook. And I want you to do that because I want everybody to be part of the fun. Everybody has something to say these days, and I want you to get a chance to get your say out. It's the same topic of conversation that it usually is. What's wrong with America? What are we trying to do to fix it? Can it be fixed? Some people think it's too late. Some people think it's not quite time to do anything. I don't really know. Eric Leon Barton is in the house, the admin of Americans for Free Speech, all the way out from Armona, California, where I'm guessing we go back 4 hours in time right now. So it's probably coming up on 3 hours, coming back on 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Eric. I'm glad that you're here. I'm going to start tonight with my thoughts on Mike Tucker, I guess, was on with, not Mike Tucker, Mike Carlson. I can't get the words out of my mouth today. Mike Pence, former disgraced vice president of the United States, and probably one of the people responsible for the J6 incident, was on Tucker Carlson recently, and Tucker said to him, what about all the money that the U.S. has given to Ukraine, and now Ukraine wants to use that money to buy United States military gear, I guess, for the war with Russia? And Vice President Pence, I think, looked away, almost looked like he was in a Joe Biden dementia daze, looked away and said something like he thought they should do that. Then when Tucker countered back and said, well, what about the United States, and the United States having the military apparatus and equipment that they need to defend the United States, Pence kind of, I swear he was dialing into Joe Biden's dementia channel and said, it's not his problem. It's not our problem. The man wants to be the president of the United States from the Republican Party to replace Joe Biden, the man who shouldn't even be president right now, if you ask me. And he has zero plan to see the United States return to its superpower status, the protector of the free world, if you want to look at it. There's so many different titles you could slap on it that pick one and it's yours. If you hear the dogs going, they're in Studio B. They're working on a America's Got Talent audition, and hopefully they make it. They get a golden buzzer. They go to Hollywood and they win the $1 million prize. But anyway, you got a vice president who was Senate president, who I think single-handedly is responsible for the January 6th massacre. All right, Michael, go to my profile, and it's on the screen right there. If anyone wants to join the broadcast, the link is on the screen in the Dave Logan profile on Facebook. It is StreamYard.com/85C89VZ8KE. StreamYard.com/85C as in Charles, 89V as in Victor, Z as in Zebra, 8 K as in King, E as in Edward. Click that link. It should bring you to the beautiful StreamYard studio that we're in right now. I will see you pop up on the screen, and you're more than welcome to come on. Rules are always the same. Don't do anything to embarrass yourself. Don't do anything to embarrass me or anybody else. But I don't care. If you embarrass me, you embarrass me. But don't do anything that you think would embarrass yourself, because the tape goes all over the internet. As I told my older nephew, the first time you put something on the internet, it is there forever. So if you look stupid on tonight's broadcast, you will look stupid on the internet forever. Good evening, Paula Baker. Pleasure to have you watching. I said Eric Leon Barton. It's always a pleasure to have you watching. Eric, if you take the link off the screen and you're welcome and you're available to come on, you're always available. You're always welcome to come on. Jen Woodruff, the homeschooling mom, was invited to join us. Nikki Young was invited to join us. A lot of people from the American Rebellion broadcast, which I'm on usually once a week. I'd like to be on more. I just have to get it into my schedule. It is hard sometimes to hit all the broadcasts you want to hit. As a matter of fact, I thought about it today. If I hit all the broadcasts that I could be on in the course of a week, I wouldn't have to do my own. Because I'd always be on one. But anyway, Eric says, my thoughts and mine only. This country is too far gone. This country needs to be taken back by force. Eric, I hear you, and I hear other people saying the same thing. I hear some people seem to think that we could somehow talk this out between both sides, or China and everybody that wants to take us down forever. But the sad thing is, I do not think that it's going to not happen with some kind of forceful act. How forceful it will go, how many people will be involved, how many people may perish from it, I don't really know. And I try to tell people not to get me thinking about being a death or a casualty in it, because I kind of equate it to when Hitler was going through Germany and getting rid of. You can't do it on Facebook Live. You can't do it on Messenger Live. I'm sorry. I have something coming into my phone at 8:00, and that's why everybody got a link. Sometimes when it is convenient, I've made Messenger Live available to do it, but tonight I can't do it. I have something coming in at 8:00, and I have to make sure my phone is free in case it comes in earlier. So if you want to pop on camera, the link is in the live chat, and it is the correct link. If it's not letting you on, I'm sorry. We'll do it another time. But anyway, don't ever give up. Like Paula Baker says, don't ever give up. And you should not ever give up, because these people, the Biden administration, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, they're doing this. And they didn't just all of a sudden decide on January 5th, 2023, the inauguration of the presidency, or whatever it is, in January, and started a new year, that they were going to do this. They've been planning for this for a very long time. Good evening to Bill Jr. Enjoy reading Bill's Bill's posts throughout Facebook. Bill is a landlord of landlords, as far as I am concerned. Puts up with tenants, takes people in that may have a story, and there's still a few human landlords left that hear a story and want to work with you. And as is common in the landlord business, the people turn around and bite your ass. They stop paying you. They try to squat in your apartment. By the time you get them out, your apartment, your house, whatever it is you're renting, is trashed beyond repair, and you have no way of getting your property back to where it was before you rented it. And it's sad. It's just very sad. On the other side, when we lived in Connecticut, we had a landlord. The link is right on the bottom of the page, Michael. It says join Boogie with Bull Uncensored, StreamYard. I can't speak today. StreamYard.com/85C as in Charles 89VZ8KE. That's the StreamYard link that we're on right now. So if people can't connect to it, I'm sorry. We'll have to figure it out another way. But Messenger Live is not available for this broadcast tonight. Matter of fact, if you can't see it on the screen, well, it's on the screen. It's actually on the screen. So I'm sorry that it is not working either. And if it's not working for anybody to come on, then it's something between StreamYard and Facebook, because I'm looking, and that's the StreamYard link in the browser. So if you type that into your browser, it will bring you right to the StreamYard studio. It brought me here. I don't really know. Modern technology issues. This is why I originally, before I started doing this, didn't have my own. I had an engineer who did it all for me, but the link is, I took it off, but it was there. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll put it back. I was someplace else on the screen. But like I said, this is the link. If you want, that is the link. It is on the screen right now. It says join Boogie with the Bull Uncensored, https://StreamYard.com 85C Charles 89V Victor Zebra 8 King Edward. That is the link. That is the link that I am on. So I apologize to anyone else if that is the link that I sent you to come on to the broadcast today. I have a problem with sending links from StreamYard to Michael over Messenger. I don't know why, and I sent him the same link that I sent to everybody else. So I apologize, and the next time it is possible, I'll have Michael on again. I always make good for when things happen. But anyway, Bill Jr., I don't know exactly off the top of my head where he is and or where he has rental properties, but he's one of the good guys, and will try to be one of the good guys. May not actually be one of the guys in anymore. I thought I read somewhere that he had put his places up for sale, and if you didn't do that, Bill, I apologize for saying that you did. But I know, and I enjoyed reading, like I said, your posts where you seem to go the extra mile for your tenants who 9 out of 10 times didn't go the extra mile for you. And I know about midnight moves in the course of my living on my own and renting office space. Sometimes we did an up and left at midnight, but we always met with the landlords, and we always made sure that we tried that we made sure that we took care of if we owed. We made sure that we did. Coming in right now is, coming in right now is Jerry Michaels, the host of the American Rebellion, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes a little later than 9 p.m. And a good guy to watch, very knowledgeable and stuff. But my rant that I was saying about landlords, take care of your landlord, because if you don't, odds are you're going to get removed. And Jerry has experience being a landlord too. So take care of her, a property manager. Take care of those people, because 9 out of 10 times, if you're honest to them and you've been honest with them all along, they want to. They will help you if they can. But enough ranting about that. What's on your mind tonight, Jerry?
Oh, same thing that's always on my mind, as little as possible. I'm
Uh, I okay. We may have lost Jerry. We'll leave it open and hope that we didn't lose Jerry. Uh, we hope that we didn't lose Jerry. Uh, oh, there he is. Hold on.
yeah,
There he is.
sorry, it's my internet again.
I know.
My internet is doing what my internet does, which is next to nothing, and we pay $200 a month for, which is nice because I feel special. Anyway, how are you tonight, Dave?
I'm actually okay. Some last minute technical difficulties that the link isn't working for Michael, and I'm
Mine
sorry.
did.
Yep, yours did. And
Mine worked.
usually I test the link. I send it to everybody and then I test it. The problem with StreamYard is it won't let me send a link to Michael over Messenger. So I have to go into Messenger and send it to him manually. And like I said, normally I do go and test everybody's link and make sure it is going to work. So there could be a problem. But I'll get him on again.
Well,
And if I can't get him in. Uh, Jen Woodruff
hopefully,
was invited. Go ahead.
yeah, I like Michael Anthony. Hopefully, he'll
Yep,
make it.
I hope he does too. Randy
I'm trying to
Rhodes.
send him. I'm trying to send him my link, but for some
Okay.
reason, my internet won't let me do it.
Okay. Uh, let me just check something. Let me look. Delilah. Okay. Let me try. Let me look at something on my phone. Because I sent Michael the link on my phone. And let me just make sure. No, there is an error. Okay, Michael, stand by. Michael, go into if you're still here, Michael, go into Messenger. And on the end of the link, I mistyped it. On the end of your link, it says 8KD as in David. It should be 8KE as in Edward, uh, which is what is on display on the screen right now. So that is my error, because I typed it on a phone screen rather than on a keyboard. The proper link should be streamyard.com/85. The proper link, Michael, should be like you see on the screen, streamyard.com/85. C as in Charles, 89VZ, very Zulu, 8 K as in King, E as in Edward, not D as in David. Put an E on the end. Take the D off and put an E on the end. That's my mistake. I was typing it on a phone screen and didn't pay attention. So if you do that, that should bring you in. Or if you look at it on the screen, like I said, if you look at it on the screen, if you're watching, well, let me try, because sometimes it doesn't always show up in here. Give me just a half a second. Like I said earlier, this is why it was always fun to have an engineer who did all this stuff for me. But, okay, slash. Give me half a second here again. It is 85C Charles 89 VC 8 VZ 8 K E is in, nope, there, did it again. E is in Edward. That is, give that a second to show up. Okay, if you're watching on my profile, that is the link to get in to the broadcast tonight. StreamYard.com/85 C as in Charles 89 VZ8KE. StreamYard.com 85C Charles 89V Victor Z Zulu 8K King E Edward. And I apologize for screwing it up, typing it in before. So try that, and hopefully we'll get you in. Hopefully Jerry will be able to come back. Randy Rhodes, like I said, was going to drop by, but he bagged a All Roads Lead to Home VIP client about an hour ago, and he wasn't sure that he would be able to join us. Jen Woodruff, the homeschooling mom, was invited to join us. Nikki Young was invited to join us, and a few other people were invited to join us. But if anyone is watching and you want to, I don't have you blocked, Michael, okay? I don't have you blocked. The problem with your link was that I was typing it on my phone and I put a D as in David on the end instead of an E as in Edward, okay? So if you use the link, which is on the screen that I just put into the live chat, Michael, with the E on the end instead of the D as in David, you should be able to come on because it's the same link that Jerry is using. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Did you see the Tucker's piece with Mike Pence? And did you have any feeling one way or the other? I said, I personally think that it showed I would not want Mike Pence to be president of the United States.
Well, yeah, the only thing I can think is how brain dead Mike Pence must be to think anyone was going to vote for him to be the president of the United States. I am shocked that he is that dumb, that he does not realize just how despised he is.
Do you think that there's any thinking in his head that, I mean, like I said, I have said and been reacted to on broadcast a lot that I think that he single-handedly, as the vice president and the Senate president, is responsible for the events of January 6th. Do you think that maybe the Democrats figured some way that they thought, or maybe they just told him, we'll get the nomination and we'll make sure you become president. But if he actually thought he was going to get the nomination, they probably figured he'd never get the Republican nomination anyway. So, okay. Jerry's internet is acting up. The wonders of modern technology, as I say, sometimes it works for everybody, sometimes it doesn't work for everybody at others. But anyway, the link is on the screen if anyone wants to try it, and come on. And if it is not working to bring anyone on, then we'll probably call this Sunday a flash in the pan, and let it go. Sometimes you just have to give in to the technology and deal with it the best that you can. This, I think, is a perfect example that everybody's having so much problems with their internet tonight and are being able to connect to the broadcast. I hope that people are seeing this, that if Joe Biden is reelected or at the last minute they drop him and draft someone that they think could actually beat President Trump, and that person manages to actually beat President Trump. Whoop, Jen, the whole school mom popped in, but then she disappeared. So let me give it a second. Maybe it is problems with StreamYard tonight, but everybody got the right link. And like I said, normally I test the links to make sure they work. But I just don't see Pence having any chance of any conservative Republican or really any true God fearing Republican voting, having the belief that he will be the best option for president of the United States. For a while, I was leaning toward Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, but as I've said, when a governor is running for president, the last 2 years of their term as governor is usually spent running around the 49 other states and running around the world, meeting leaders around the world and working with governors of other states and to get yourself elected president. I lived through that with Mitt Romney, and I got to tell you, I thought he was a great guy. I voted for him as governor, but I would not have voted for him as president. Actually, I didn't vote for him as president because I thought he did a terrible disservice to Massachusetts by being away from Massachusetts for so much time and not backing his lieutenant governor, Shane Swift, who became acting governor. Let's see if we can bring Jerry back on. So, that's just me. There you are. Whoops.
Yeah, this is going to be one of them nights again. That happens,
Well.
well, every time I'm
Yeah.
on. I notice Alan's here. How you doing, Alan? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, as far as Pence goes, first of all, he's dumb because he's running for vice president, and then he decided it was a good idea for him to sit down with all of all people, Tucker Carlson, who's going to call him out on everything. I am. I'm at a loss for why him, Chris Christie, nobody wants these people from at least the Republican side, except the donors because they can control them. And as we see, like DeSantis, who everybody loved, and I kept telling him he's been running for president since the day he ran for governor.
Yeah.
And nobody listens. Everybody
Oh,
loves
you're right.
DeSantis, thinks
You're right.
Florida's a completely free state and all this, and it is not. It's better than a lot of states, I'll give you that, but our cities are just as much of a cesspool as the rest of the country because they're
Yeah.
mostly democratically run. And unfortunately, these people like DeSantis, he's in bed with the Bushes now, so that and his numbers have fallen dramatically
Yep.
to the point where he has actually hurt himself for any future run for the president simply because of this. It was a bad plan for him to come out. He came out way too early. And then Trump is still kicking his butt every single time there is any kind of poll, which tells you all you need to know. I mean, I
And
don't know.
you
I don't really put a lot of stock in polls, especially this early or even like the night before, but, um,
and you still
it's
don't see
consistent.
you still don't
Say
see
what?
any chance. You still don't see any chance of a Trump DeSantis vice president
Nope.
uh,
I've never
ticket.
seen a chance. I've never seen that. It's not going to
Okay.
happen. I actually want Kerry Lake. If he's going to be the president, somehow by some miracle he manages to get into the White House, I want to see Kerry Lake as his vice president. I have always wanted to see Kerry Lake as his vice president, and that ain't going to change. As a matter of fact, yesterday at the whatever it was that where he was speaking, she won the vice president poll by 24% or something like that.
Yeah.
I believe she's a lot like Trump, but she's the female version, and
That,
we need that.
but I was going to ask Jerry if he thought that Trump needs to draft a a female vice president. And it sounds like he does. We'll continue as soon as Jerry can make it back in. Florida is a terrible place that weather can knock you off all the time, and your internet options are not always the best. We try with what we can. There he is. And,
Anyway, what I was saying about, you know, DeSantis and Trump do not like each other in real life. Most of the stuff they're saying about each other because they don't like each other. It's not going to work. Okay. Trump is Trump. No one else is Trump. DeSantis is trying to be Trump, and he can't.
did Trump
DeSantis
get
is an
DeSantis?
established politician,
Did Trump
and
get
Trump is
DeSantis
not.
elected?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Although I think the guy DeSantis was running against did more than Trump did because that guy ruined, I believe it was Tallahassee or Jacksonville he was running. And then, of course, the gay cocaine thing after didn't, that was a close call for Florida. He would have screwed Florida up completely, just like the rest of the Democratic states. It's ridiculous. I see no pathway for DeSantis becoming president of the United States. Zero. Nobody likes him now for what he did to Trump. You can't screw with Trump.
Yep.
You can't do it. And that's what he's doing. It was a
Is
bad
Disney World-
idea. And say what?
Is Disney World a black mark on DeSantis and even trying to remotely see the presidency? Is that... Look, we lost Jerry. And he'll be right back. But the whole thing with Disney World lately and Disney lately kind of saddens me, as people have heard me say on broadcast, because I grew up near Disneyland, so we were there all the time. And then, Don and I got married about 11 years ago, and I said I had never been to Disney World, and one day I wanted to take the grandchildren and our sons and our grandchildren there again and take them there again. And I had not been there yet, but so I'm kind of disillusioned that, Jerry had said last night when you talk about Disney World, nobody's there. And, like I said, growing up, we were at Disneyland all the time, and there were a billion people there every day. Every time we went, that's just how it went. So now to go, if I ever made it to Disney World in my 60s, it would be, would it have been worth it?
Well, actually, going now if there's not full up is probably the best time to go. You'll get on the rides faster and everything else. But
yeah, you get on the rides if you can get through the line. You don't need a ticket to ride Boogie with the Bull. I apologize, we're in Northeast Florida, and Jerry is down lower, and I do know that it is typically if it's raining up here and our internet is acting up, then usually 15-20 minutes after it stops, it's down there, or it's the other direction. It comes up from there, and as soon as it gets up here, our internet acts up. So we will keep moving along for a little bit. Hopefully we'll get Jerry back, and we'll get him for a couple of minutes before the next bounce, and we'll get Michael Anthony in one day this week, and we'll just do it. Unfortunately, it's like I said, I am expecting something to come through my phone at 8:00, and I have to be able to receive it. So I apologize for not using. And also, They're watching TV out in the living room, and we're just not set up for a speakerphone for the broadcasts. We will do that as quickly as we can. And I've been saying for a couple of years we're going to do that. Thanks for watching, Paula. Paula Baker watching. Got to run. Uh, it'll be a little bit tighter next time, meaning we will have everybody here that had said they were going to be here. And hey, Paula, if you're interested in coming on one time and representing yourself, please come on and talk. The link is on the screen, and we'll be more than happy to have you on. And I've said that to everybody over the 3+ years we've been doing Boogie with the Bull broadcast. This was just as much about having anybody who watches uh, the broadcasts that we do or broadcasts that anybody else do. It's just as interesting and informative to me to have people on who watch me or us and everyone else, as I just said, and just talk about America and their point of view, as it is to have the hosts of other broadcasts. It became sort of trying to gel both together because not everybody can watch everybody who's on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, like the American Rebellion is, or try to catch a Boogie with the Bull. At that point, I was doing 10 a.m.s. Sometimes we were doubling back around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then we were trying to squeeze something in at night. So, I do tell people anybody is welcome to come on at any time. And one of these days, we'll figure out a way to make sure that everybody gets on, stays connected, and can do it. My fear is that as you're watching and you see Jerry get knocked off, even on the American Rebellion, you see him get knocked off his own broadcast all the time. My fear is that if the Democrats, by some act of Satan, do manage to win the 2024 election, government internet is going to take over, and it's not going to be anything like you won't see the guy with glasses on the left side of your screen on anymore. They just will probably shut my access off for life. Jerry will probably get on, but who knows how often. And uh, you know, and
No,
that's
the
my.
whole idea,
Go ahead.
the whole idea behind to control the internet is to keep people like us off so that their rhetoric is the only thing on.
Yeah,
Um, and it's that simple. And we're very small compared to some that will lose every. I mean, look at the people who have lost their accounts on Twitter, lost
yeah,
their accounts on Facebook, lost their account everywhere. Okay, simply because of the things they say. I mean, I can't. I don't like Alex Jones. I have never liked Alex Jones. Okay, I
yeah,
think he's full of crap. I think he's a great promoter, but I think he's full of crap. But there is
yeah.
no way in hell that he should have been kicked off of anything for what he
Right,
says. It's all garbage.
right.
Okay, it's all garbage. You can believe him if you wish, or not, like I did. I didn't. I mean, even he came across a few that were true, but in the end, most of the stuff he said was shit to get him more views and more this and more. He was like the National Enquirer of the
Support that.
internet.
Support
However,
that.
uh,
Support that hundred
people
million
should be
dollar.
allowed to.
Right.
Well, some people should be allowed to watch who they want to watch and believe what they want to believe anytime they want. That in
Yep.
itself is what America is.
Yep.
People who are not allowed to watch whatever they want to watch or believe whatever they want to watch, that's what places like Cuba, Russia, and place in communist countries are. And so what are these politicians trying to do and have already done to a great extent? They're turning this into a communist country. They're going to skip socialism. We've already got socialism.
Yep.
Okay. You take Social Security all by it. That's socialism. All right. That's redistribution of wealth. Okay. Because everybody pays for it. All right. If you just paid for yourself through Social Security every time you got paid, you wouldn't make enough money to survive. So, in health insurance, same thing.
Right.
Everybody pays for the sick. I don't care what plan you have. I don't care what policies are in place. You are going to pay for the sick. So that's that.
Yeah.
And it's the best way to do it. Also, putting more than one insurance company per state and letting them all just fight it out amongst themselves will bring down the prices. But the government doesn't want that. The government wants everybody on government health care, which I'm on through the VA. And if you want to know
Right.
what socialized medicine is like, go to the VA. I
It's
guarantee
not.
you'll find out.
Yeah.
So, but in the end, um, here's the problem. I figured this out again before the show. I've been doing this for 10 years. Okay.
Yep.
And we are no further along than we were 10 years ago as far as what should be done and what, as a matter of fact, we are further away from what should be where we should be now. Much, much further away. And we're just going to, each day we get further and further from what America's vision was when it first started. Okay. The people, the founding fathers, all that, we are further and further away every single day from what they believed. Okay. And we continue to keep electing the same people to the same jobs who screw us, but then tell us they're everywhere. Well, I can fix the problem. They can't fix the problem in 30, 40 years, but they can fix it now. And we vote for them. And what do? They don't fix it. What they
Is
do
it
is they hand out
possible?
more money again into a broken system, and it gets stolen, and it gets this, and it gets that, and nothing changes. I'm sorry. What did you say, Dave? I'm
Is
sorry.
it possible to? I need to apologize because of my usual. I cut you off again. Is it possible to fix it? I mean, this is where I am. I'm tired of. So I'm not tired of you. I'm tired of people saying it needs to be fixed and not having any idea of how to fix it. And I mean, I hear people say every day some kind of a civil war is going to be needed. People are going to die. And then, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, what scares me more than worrying about myself and my family dying in a civil war is living, and because of my mental illness and all, what they're going to do with me. Because if this was Nazi Germany, I'm Jewish, and I figure that I would have been in line for the ovens as soon as Hitler found out I was Jewish.
Oh, stop, Dave. You're so funny.
I
Hi,
stole that from
Jerry.
I stole that from Nikki. That's a copyrighted move of Nikki Young.
Yeah, you guys are funny.
Good evening, Jen. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. Hi, Jerry. How are you?
How are you? All right. Good to see you, Jen.
Great.
We missed you
Good to
last
see.
night. It was just me and Nick, and it was sad, Jen. We were crying actually over the loss of you, but don't worry about
They
that.
were,
We're grown
Jen.
men. We'll
They
probably
really
get
were.
over it in a year or so.
I'm
Yeah,
so sorry about that. We were at the movie.
yeah.
It was something. We were at the movies. You don't want to see that one movie that's like everyone must see. I can't believe they're exposing everything that they are exposing, but it's a good thing. We couldn't even stand through the first 5 minutes of it. Oh my gosh, it's pain from the beginning. It's pain. You see this father going to the mall with his two beautiful children, and someone comes up to them and says, "Oh, you should be in modeling. You guys are beautiful children. Would you mind coming with me just for half an hour? It'll just be real quick." They're at the mall. And the father, the kids are like, "Oh, dad, please, please, we're movie stars. And they do their little thing. It's ridiculous." So the dad's like, "Okay, I'll be there in a half an hour." And the dad's probably thinking, "This is great. I can get whatever I have to get." And the kids are, babysat, thinking they're going to be models. Oh my God. Well, anyways, when the dad comes back to get them, the place is closed. It's like it never happened. The kids are gone. And that's how the thing starts out. I mean, it's painful. And we're like, "Hey, let's go see the Harrison Ford movie. So we went to that, and I'll tell you what, the first hour of it was great for taking a nap. And then the last hour and a half of it was good. But my gosh, it's, there comes a time, and I'm telling you, Han Solo, you age. Everyone does. It happens, and it was great. It's time to quit. You do something for 40 years and slow down, but that's where we were. I'll stop talking. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get.
I,
I was trying to get the link in the screen because I kept
Well,
looking at
the
in the,
first
in the
movie you
live
talked
chat.
about, The Cry of Freedom or whatever it was, is up to
sound.
80, 87, 80,
It's good.
87 million,
That's
$87
good.
million for that, and it is outdoing Harrison Ford by $87 million. So that
Good.
tells
It
you all you
should.
need to know about Hollywood.
Is part of that also that I heard rumors that supposedly Democrat groups are going into theaters and are looking up where it's playing and going in and supposedly buying all of the tickets, or somehow they figured a way to make it look like all the tickets are sold out.
Yeah, they're trying to sabotage it
So I mean,
because it exposes
right, right,
it exposes them. Yeah,
right.
I heard that too. They are doing anything they can to stop it.
Yeah.
And it is, yeah, I understand that. And yeah, we were just babies yesterday, and we should have sat through it, but we didn't because it was like, I don't know. We just wanted to see a movie and eat popcorn and fall asleep. So that's why we switched and went to Harrison Ford.
I had read on Facebook today that I forget, it was a friend and his wife, or I won't say the name. They went and their tickets were separate from each other because they couldn't get seats together. And I guess a 75-year-old man had had one of the two seats, and he traded tickets with them so that the couple could sit together. And I guess he was sitting behind them. And the guy said that all the 75-year-old man did was cry about that's how life was.
It,
That's
yeah.
how life is. And
Yeah, it was a reality check.
yeah,
We were just babies yesterday, and today we dropped the baby off at camp. She's 15, but she's my baby, okay? Then I'm like, just no more of this, okay? Let's just have a normal weekend. And then I was on eBay trying to list those mugs. There's only 7 left. Oh my gosh, it was torturous. So I was like, forget this. They're on eBay. No, they're not on eBay anything. They're on Facebook Marketplace. I'll give you a link. They're beautiful. It was just a bad day. I felt like um the left is against us all or something. Maybe they are.
they aren't. I thought they
They
were.
are. I said maybe they are. Yeah, obviously. No, it was crazy. No matter what you do, you list these things and it says you didn't choose a proper shipping method. And they're like, we recommend USPS. And it's like goes up, it's like $9.50. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna choose USPS. And then it says, do you know your shipping? The weights and the size. And I put that in and it's like, oh, that's not correct. And I couldn't list a thing. So I'm like, fine, say you don't know anything. And they still say, we recommend USPS. So I'm like, okay, but it won't list it. So I said, okay, we're going to Facebook. I'm listing them. I got a link. We'll just do it my way, our way.
And then if they're ceramic, you got to pack them so that they don't.
Oh, they're good.
That one, the boogie one that you sent me came in a beautiful piece of styrofoam.
Styrofoam,
and,
right.
and it was wrapped in bubble wrap and stuffed in the
Yeah.
But the only problem that I'm finding with them is, like I've always said, it's like $10 for the mug and $25 to ship it.
Yeah, well, this is better. It's $5 for the mug and $10 to ship.
Oh, I'll have to go look.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to send a link. Hold on.
All right.
Paste. But
and what else, Mr. Jerry? Or did he freeze? Can't tell. I don't know if Jerry Fro. No, he's there. I see movement. Okay. So where else are we? I'm sure you don't support Pence for president.
Oh my goodness. This is funny. There was I just saw yesterday, we saw an interview between it was Pence and
Yeah,
Tucker Carlson is talking to Pence, and they're just, talking
yeah.
about the election and running for president. And now you have to know Pence's number one thing is to bring out the who he's going against, Joe Biden's flaws. And so anyone who's running Democrat is what Pence is going to hone in on and what they're focusing on. And so what he's focusing in on is that Biden is not he's saying, where's all the things you were going to give to the Ukraine, to what's his name, Yelinsky, Vladimir, yeah, I don't know. I had a principal named Yelinsky. So this one is Zelensky.
Yep.
Anyhow, he goes, the Biden says he's going to give these F-14, 15 fighters, and we're going to give them this much money until until it's done, until you win. But he's not giving them anything. And so this is what Pence is running on, is Biden's flaws of giving the Ukraine our money. And
But then,
Tucker's like, you're running for president of the United States.
right.
Have you seen how, have you seen the cities? Have you seen how the people are like really needing groceries? Have you seen, what all these policies are doing? And Pence said, that is not my
Not my
first
problem.
concern.
Yep.
And we're like, it's not your first concern. It's the United States of America. You are running to be the leader of the free world and to make America great again, unless they don't care. Obviously, he does
I
not care about making America great at all. All he cares about is globalism and helping,
I think
um,
he is. I personally think he's a plant. The Democrats have planted him in
right?
in the Republican pool to get the nomination. Because I mean, I watched that thing, that Tucker thing, and I think I sent it to just about every group I could send it to on Facebook. I mean, I
Oh,
was I was so ticked off when I watched it that
wow.
I tried to make sure I put it in all of ours, and then I sent it to a whole bunch of others, going,
I know.
Mister, I'm responsible for January 6th, which I personally think he is,
Right?
just because he violated the Senate's own procedures for certifying the election.
Right. Yeah,
I
he
mean,
didn't.
the events were still planned to go that day. Whether or not he had a say in the events that were planned, that I can't prove, and I hope I never am able to prove. Other than, he didn't do his job. The rules say every state from A to Z stands up, identifies themselves, states the confirmed results from their state, and if they want to protest, which Ted Cruz stood up and said, I'm Ted Cruz from Texas. Here are the confirmed results. I want to file a protest. Vice President Pence, Senate President Pence looked at him and said, Did you serve the papers with the clerk or something to that effect? And he said yes, and the clerk signified something, that he did. And then you're supposed to go on to the next state until you've named them all and you've confirmed the states that have no protest. Then in alphabetical order, you go back and you look at all of the states that filed a protest, and you keep doing that. That meeting doesn't end until everything is confirmed.
There's a resolution. You're right. The whole thing was a hit on our democracy.
Yeah.
And that is the very thing that Biden keeps saying, we're going to lose our democracy. And I'm thinking, we kind of did when he stole the election, but hey, oh, it's frustrating. Very frustrating.
I'm sorry, Kelly Nixon. I would not have done that to you. I had my screen switched to a different area. But yes, you're watching a very bad movie right now. Roll credits, please. Okay. Well, I think right now we're watching a very bad movie called The United States of America. And the script is bad. It was probably written during the Hollywood writers' strike, or the group of writers that are all complaining that they're not making enough money now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I said to Jerry, and I've said it to other people just in private chats lately. Can we do this peacefully, or is there going to have to be some kind of quote unquote civil war?
2.0, right?
And what scares me even more than that is if you declare war on the United States government. There it is. I see the link. I have to figure out how to then take it from the chat and bring it in. But I will get that link posted in all the groups and put a nice picture on it and send that out. And you can buy Jen's mug. She did a fantastic job on the mug. She did this one for Boogie with the Bull Uncensored. And much to Jen's chagrin, this actually is a true bipartisan 15-ounce coffee mug. You can hold it in your right hand, and everyone knows that you're a Republican that supports Boogie with the Bull Uncensored.
That's awesome.
You can hold it in your
I love it.
And everyone knows that you're a leftist socialist Democrat who probably drinks decaf coffee. And,
that's funny.
Yeah. And to any of you guys and gals that sell your own roasts and beans and whatever, if you want to do some kind of a packaging deal with our mugs and your coffee, which will help sell our mugs and probably not sell your coffee, by all means, let us know. I have to turn that off. That's something that I was waiting for. And yeah. All right, hold on. I have to turn this. No, I can just do it. Oops. Hold on. There it is. I gotta grab something. No. Hold on a second. Talk for a second, Jen. I have to kill my camera and do something.
Okay, sure. That's great.
Okay.
Okay, have you noticed the push on these electric vehicles? Let me tell you what they're doing. This is what the Democratic Party is all about. It's what they've always been about. Slavery. They love it. That's why they did in Abraham Lincoln, because he was freeing the slaves. They also took care of JFK, because he knew that's what they were trying to do to all of us, to serve them. They have this idea of them being the overlords and us being the serfs, just like England used to do during the time of the American Revolution, when we kicked their butts out of here. And first of all, we left them because we're not going to keep paying them taxes. We want freedom of religion, basically everything in our First Amendment. Plus, we wanted to make our own money and keep our profits. So that's why we had the American Revolution. They want to be the overlords and they want us to be the serfs. Well, anyhow, that is what they're doing again with this nonsense on fossil fuels and digging coal. That's fine. It's always worked. Always, for everyone around the world. And it wasn't until they took their power in 2020, when Trump got pushed to the side, that they're coming up with these electric vehicles. It has nothing to do with the climate. Absolutely nothing. It's all about serfs and overlords. And that's what they want to be, because to make these batteries. First of all, we can't afford it. The grid cannot afford to produce this much energy
Nope.
to recharge the vehicles.
Nope.
But the batteries that are made with lithium and cobalt, have you got to look up this on YouTube. Say children or slaves
Yep.
mining for
Mining.
cobalt.
Mining cobalt, mining the lithium. Yep.
Yeah.
And what is really weird to me is no effort to dress these kids safely. You see some of these kids look like they're GQ models, and they're in these holes, no protection, no nothing, breathing this stuff in that, it's just a mess. It really is.
Yeah, I was
It
seeing
really
this
is.
happen in the Congo, and these children, they just have shorts on.
Yeah.
They're slaves. They seriously are slaves. They have it bad enough. They're in the Congo, and it's their job just to dig with their hands. They don't even have tools. They're just digging through the dirt, looking for any kind of metal that they can use as cobalt. It's ridiculous, but they're making, I can't even imagine how much work they have to do to get 1 pound of cobalt to give to these American companies who are making like so much money
Yeah.
off it. The whole thing is ridiculous. It's not necessary. Coal's been doing just fine for this long. Why change it?
The American Rebellion store just told me that they have taken your cup and shared it to every place. All of their
Really?
places.
It's there.
It says, I'm in the comments, Dave. I just shared Jen's cup to my places. And
Fantastic.
after 10 years of doing this, I can only imagine that there are probably 10 million places on Facebook. You'll probably sell 10,000 cups in the next
Great.
In the next 54 minutes. Operators are standing by.
That was perfect. You have done this before. That's fantastic.
Oh, God.
That's great.
It's fun. And I told people at the beginning that it's just as much fun to have everybody who does broadcast, does the research, does the stuff that we all do, as it is to have people who watch it. Because in the beginning, when I started it, that's what it was. I figured I'd never get Jen, the homeschooling mom, Jerry Michaels, Nikki Young, Michael Anthony, Randy Rhodes, who's so busy doing genealogy that he was going to be here, but he something big happened. He landed someone, I guess a VIP, as we would call him, and was unable to be here with us. But I'm interested in hearing what everybody.
Right, that's awesome.
What everybody thinks, and except if your husband has a boat, don't talk to Jen about what the name of the boat should be, because Jen's husband wanted to name the boat something until Jen said to him, "You realize that if you add a space between the fourth letter and the
we have to tell people
letter.
It doesn't matter."
Right.
No, I didn't even say that. It's therapy. It is therapy. And he said we should name the boat Therapist, the Therapist. And I'm like, dear God, you can't, because when you spell therapist, it spells the rapist.
Right.
And so I said, let's call it the Doctor. And it still kind of has weird connotations, but it sure.
Well, people are always going to ask you what kind of doctor. When they see it in the yacht club that I'm sure you're in, they're going to ask him what kind of doctor he is. Because when I first started the limousine business, I had 2 phones, I had a pager, and if I was walking to the grocery store, everything was going off, and the nice elderly ladies would look at me and go, "What do? You must be important. You have all these phones and stuff going off."
I just like to play with electronics.
Look at him, and I would go, "I'm a brain surgeon."
That's funny.
And then,
we don't belong to a yacht club.
You don't?
The boat's like in the backyard if it's not in the garage.
We did security for about a year at the Hyannis Yacht Club, which is where uh, it was where the Kennedys kept their boats when they had boats. Uh, but long after, and the only reason we were there is that the kids would sneak into the parents' boats and have parties, and then and then go home, and the parents would show up to use the boat the next day with their friends, and it was
Oh
all
my gosh, that's
trash.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matter of
you
fact,
know,
oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
No, it's just a stupid boat story
Go ahead.
about okay, Michigan. Whitmer, the devil in disguise, terrible, terrible governor of Michigan, very left. Anyhow, her husband during COVID, her husband's boat is in this what did you call it? It's a marina. Okay, it's
Okay.
in a marina. So he calls to get his boat pushed to the front because it's during COVID, mind you. But he wants to go out on the boat with his buddies that day. So he calls the marina and he tells them, could you please bring my boat out? I'm going to get it today. We're taking it on the water. And by the way, my last name's Whitmer. Hopefully that helps give us a little bit of clout to get the boat out because everyone wants to get their boats that it was a nice day during COVID. And the people at the marina said, we recognize your name. That's exactly why it's at the back of the
Yeah.
list. So I know it was like they're
Hey,
taxing everything. The roads are full of potholes. They will never be fixed. I don't care who the infrastructure or transportation czar or secretary is. They're not going to fix it. And so we realize what's going on. They are really pitting themselves against us. But go on about your marina story,
no,
please.
it reminded me because the cruiser that I used to drive for the security company was a Crown Vic, and your son is like the only person I know that has taken a
Loves,
what is usually a police package vehicle
right?
that either becomes a cab company or someone buys and saves it because it's a good reliable car, and he's
Mhm.
trying to put a 4-speed stick or 5-speed stick into a Crown Vic, and I'm just I want to see videos of the finished car when
Yeah, it'll
it's
be
done.
beautiful. Yeah, we every day we talk about the stress. It's on what are the
It
jacks? What
it's
are they
gotta.
called?
I
It's on
can't.
jacks in the garage. There's
I
no chassis. It's just
I can't imagine because the only guy I know that would be able to do something like that is a body shop guy in Watertown, Massachusetts. And if I
his name
walked
is
in and
so
said to him, I want to take a Crown Vic police cruiser and make it a 5-speed stick, he'd do it, but the price that he would want to do it for you is so crazy
yeah.
that I mean, I just want to see it. I just want to see it done. I mean, one of my all-time favorite cars that I actually owned was a '95 Ford Crown Vic that started at the Massachusetts State Police. It went to the MBTA, the bus police. It was the chief of the Wellesley Police Department's cruiser. Then my boss bought it, and it was his cruiser. And then when he didn't want it anymore, it became my cruiser. And when they didn't want his company anymore, I bought it. And I just I want to see pictures. Matter of fact, I want to put it on every once in a while. I find cool cars to put on the Maximum Liberty Service
Right.
page because it's still here on Facebook. I want to put the video of your son taking whatever year Crown Vic it is and putting a Volkswagen engine into it.
Jeez, yeah, it's a job. And his their best friend is a marine, and so
Yeah,
they did this in the marines like nothing because that's what they do. I
yeah,
mean, it's their thing. They work on machines, and so they did this, and that's where Josh got the idea. But we don't have those same people here to
yeah.
help him with his.
When our
So
when our son went in, I think his first job in the army was wheeled mechanic. And I think that's what they told us later is that everybody basically comes out of boot camp and is a wheeled mechanic, and then you move from there. So yeah,
Well,
good place,
yeah. So
good place to
we're
live. But
in the process.
I guess if you can take a Sherman tank and put a Volkswagen engine and 4-speed stick transmission in it, you should be able to throw a Crown Vic up in the
Yeah, well,
air, pull it out, slap it back in before it hits the ground.
yeah, we'll see how this goes. It's frustrating right now because it's in pieces in the garage, and he's got everything he needs.
You
We
can't
just
park
need.
your car or your boat in the garage.
You can't do anything in the
Yeah,
garage. Yeah, he can't even park the lawnmower in there right now. We're like, oh my god. It's okay. It's just a season.
tis the season. Tis the season. Tis the season to go buy one of Jen's coffee mugs everywhere that you see them. And because there are so many of them and they're so cool, you're gonna have to put a shelf up somewhere so that you can keep them all on display. When we
Right. How
when
fun.
we when we were in Connecticut, I had a old 4-person dining room table was my desk that my aunt had given me, and when she didn't need it any longer, so it was plenty of room to store them. And then when we first moved here, I think I had 2 shelves of the bookshelf covered with mugs, and then when we moved into this house, we just didn't have room for them anymore.
Oh.
And
And they always say mugs are the best things. You can never have too many. And I'm like, yeah, you
you can
can.
never have so many.
So,
And then I remember when we were doing live talk radio, it's like everybody would sit in the studio and they all got whatever the station mug was when
right.
we all sat down to do it. And then like halfway through, if they had a mug, uh, somebody would bring in a fresh pot of coffee for the second hour,
Nice.
and they left their mug with us. So it was like, today we're interviewing Jen, the homeschooling mom from the Wealth Academy. And
Oh, fun.
we'd show
Right.
we'd show your mug, or I'd try to get the camera to see that I'm wearing the Wealth T-shirt. Or
That was nice. It was like
yeah,
product placement advertising. That's
okay,
great.
product placement. We touched on that with Jerry recently, and it is true. It's actually a science where they put it, so
Wow.
that when you're on the screen, so that when you're sitting in the theater, your eyes are going to go right to it. It helps. The Coke is in a red and white can anyway, and that's what they put there. But yeah, they spend beaucoup amounts of money to
I'm making you notice. Yeah. What
yeah,
they're promoting.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. But I mean, it could be worse. I mean, they could be, they could have like a stack of Disney World admission tickets sitting right there next to, you know,
Yeah.
you know, get Florida health insurance. I saw we were walking at a farmer's market, and I saw it this way as we were walking to it, and I said to the person, "What is on it?" And they turned it around and it said Florida Health. And I didn't realize they were a booth trying to sign people up for Florida health insurance. And I said, "I want the mug.
That's awesome.
They don't have a place for it. I want the mug."
Right. Oh, that's great.
But
Did you see the Truman Show with? It's an older one with
oh, you mean
Jim
the one
Carrey.
with Jim Carrey? I
Yeah,
saw bits and pieces of it, but I've never seen the whole movie.
that whole thing is about product placement,
Yeah.
and throughout the whole thing, it's a television show, and every time he
Which
picks something up from the counter, he's like, "Well, look at this knife I'm using," and the
did,
whole thing is
did he
sales.
know? Did he know that his whole, like I said, I haven't seen enough of it to know whether or not, did he know that his whole life was a reality TV show, or does he find out at some point that
I
his whole
don't
life is a reality
know. I think he
TV show?
finally figured it out at the end because they had to break out of it, and they had to break the dome. They were like under a dome. There was
Oh,
like
okay.
they would look up at the sky and they'd see the sky, but somebody, I think they shot an arrow up at the sky to break the dome, and that's how they
Okay.
got out of it. They were like kind of in a bubble.
I
But
I
it was
couldn't
fascinating. It's
I
like we're in it now, actually.
I could not do that. Even if
God.
even if someone came to me and said, name your price, Dave, we will pay you whatever you want, but we want the Boogie with the Bull daily reality show. And I'd say I can't, because if I walk into the bedroom and I stub my toe on a kibble that Delilah didn't eat, I'm going to say the F bomb in 27 different languages, and Facebook is going to ban me because the F bomb would have gone out in all 27 countries. That was an
That's
interesting thing to learn about on Facebook. It's not just you post something here on Facebook USA. It goes around the world to every other Facebook that doesn't censor whatever
oh
whatever
my gosh,
you're
really?
doing. Yeah, that's why I say, we've had the fight over the years with someone at Facebook China will occasionally drop a a, uh, a notice with Facebook that they hold the copyright to Boogie with the Bull, and they have no paperwork to back it up. And finally, I got a hold of Cokie Malone, I wrote the song, and I said to him, "What I want you to do is take a piece of sheet music, or make a copy of the sheet music from when you wrote the song. On the back, type into it who owns the copyright, and have it ready, because the next time Facebook tells me somebody in China thinks they own it and you can't use it." And what happened was, it was they muted something like 42 minutes out of a broadcast that aired on Facebook China. And the 42 minutes were every time in like that hour I said Boogie with the Bull. So you just hear me talking about blah, 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 blah.
And they
Silence.
wanted to charge you
I,
for every
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And finally, like I said, it's just ridiculous
Yeah.
how they do. It's going to get worse if we don't win the Civil War and the Democrats hold on to the White House. I don't know how they're going to do it, because I've said, even if the Secret Service or the weaponized Department of Justice was bluffing about a white bag found at the White House, they said we were going through the West Wing of the White House on a random check of the White House, and we found this in the Trump family living in the Trump residence at the White House, he would have been impeached. The Senate would have approved it before the ink was dry and gone. And it just never ceases to amaze me how it looks like all of these things were planned for
Right.
someone else. And if they knew that Hunter had a problem with it, you would think they would make sure it was never there.
Right.
But then
That's another thing.
But then
It
again,
was
people say so many people have access to the West Wing, or they come and visit the president and the first family. But the Secret Service signs those people in. The Secret Service runs a background check on those people. Those people's people and the Secret Service are protecting them while they're there. It just
how old is he? How old is Hunter?
Hunter.
45?
I actually don't know.
35 or 45? I think he's 45, unless the drugs just make him look older. But
The drugs do make you look older. The drugs
he's
drugs make
he's
you. This is not an
yeah.
insult. This is not an insult to Cokie Malone at all. But Cokie, if you're watching, I would be the first one to tell you,
You look old.
or others, that
You look
well,
old.
then, I mean,
Yeah.
you'll see it in people that have that are
Right.
that are
Dependent.
are dependent.
But the thing is, I'm like, he's a grown man. He's married. He has children. He has some kind of job. What, painting? Well, I won't even go there. It
Well,
sucks, but I'm joking. He has some kind of job. He's got a family and he's
your
living with his dad
your
in
art,
the White
your art,
House.
or a product that you want to sell is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it.
Right.
So the only thing I can figure is that somebody in China, because that's where I think it went to, paid him $600,000 for a piece of art. It doesn't
Finger
matter.
paint? I'm
It does.
sorry.
It doesn't matter that the piece of art looks like a kindergartner did it.
Right, right,
It's
right.
it's more like me wanting to say, Hunter, some Chinese guy or gal wanted to give you a $600,000 payment to do something, and they said we hired you to make a painting. But tell me, really, what were they doing? Um,
Buying
there was a story
influence.
going around for a while that the CCP was paying the $50,000 a month rent or mortgage, whatever, on the Delaware dungeon, and and I think it was paid after 12 months. The mortgage was paid off, and what doesn't make any sense to me is that's the Biden family home. Why is there a mortgage on it after all these years?
Oh my gosh. Good point.
So again, yeah, Hunter, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. We'll give you $50,000 a month because nobody will think about it. And then all of a sudden, you're bragging because you paid off the mortgage on your father's house, which I don't understand how he couldn't have paid off himself with all the money that his kickback. Because, say for example, we've given $10 trillion to Ukraine. You have to figure out that somewhere at the bottom, because he's a politician, all the politicians involved got some cut. So let's say Joe got 10%. That's $10 billion.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Right.
I,
And the other people in his family who got checks to, it's so
and
ridiculous and it's so obvious.
the daughter probably didn't get a check because of her age. It's probably somewhere in trust for her.
She's not that young, is she?
I don't
No.
know, but
She
the wife wants her to have the Biden name. The wife who I believe they're divorced, but she wants the
I
daughter.
thought she died.
I
I
don't know.
think his first wife died in the hospital, and Jill was the babysitter.
No, that's Joe. That's Joe. I'm talking about Hunter's wife or ex-wife,
Oh,
whatever she is. The baby mother is adamant about making sure that their daughter grows up with the Biden name, so that I'm sure so they can bank off of it, so that she can bank off of it.
I was gonna say that's not something I would like to stick my daughter with.
Yeah.
But if you're just as crooked
I
as
mean,
the rest, yeah.
I guess the funny thing is that what is it? Warren Buffett didn't leave his children money in his. Well, I'm sure there's some money, but it's not anything like you think that
Right.
he was going to leave them. He gave his oldest son, I think, who was running the family farm. He gave that to him, I believe. But
The farm.
and that gave him the farm. Literally gave him the farm.
Right.
But Bill Gates, after he and Melinda got married and they had the first child, the daughter, if Melinda divorced Bill before the daughter was 18, the daughter got $1 million, and I don't know what Melinda got. I hope she cleaned out his clock. If they haven't actually finished the divorce, I hope she cleans him out. But she's not a good person either.
Oh, really, Melinda?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she tried to take everything and continue doing charitable work, but I think it's the same charitable work that he's doing. Just not as public with it.
Wow.
I don't know. No, I'm glad that I don't ever have to think about anything like that because I don't know.
No, until we get on these shows.
I don't own anything, so there's nothing.
There's a book there's a book. I want to get this book, and I'm encouraging Jesse, instead of paying everything off and living like paupers, which we may or may not be. Everybody is welcome to my country, but the book is called "Dying Poor," and
Mhm.
it's awesome. You live the good life. You
Yeah,
charge. You do what you got to do to get through. Your kids go to college. I mean, you do what you got to do, and you die poor so they can't come after you or your family
the
line for
only
anything,
thing,
what happens?
the
Tell me.
only thing I wanted to do for Donna at some point after we got married was leave my final expenses and enough for I wanted to leave enough for a year or two because if we didn't own a home then and or we were making payments on a home, hopefully it would be close to paying it off.
Right.
And uh, not not leaving anything for my sons, but all three sons are capable. So it was wanting to leave something for our grandsons. I mean, I always
Right.
dreamed that it'd be $1 million by the time they turned 18, and they wouldn't have to worry about the expense of going to college. They would just go.
Right.
But that's obviously not going to happen. But sometimes I think about it, and it's yeah, you spend what They've always said you can't take it with you, so spend it and enjoy it while you're here.
Right.
Spend some of it on them and leave the expenses that you know I don't want them knocking on the door or coming up to Donna with an envelope at my service.
Yeah.
We need you know we need we need this right now. No,
Right.
make sure it's taken care of and 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 enjoy the rest because I can't take it with me.
Right.
No one wants my no one wants my androids or my vintage Apple technology.
You know who can make money off of that?
Daryl Rick,
Daryl.
Daryl.
Yeah. I'm like, he could do
Oh,
something with that. That's awesome.
but see, and I paid. I bought I don't know how old it was. Apple iPad Air 2 second generation. It has 3G cellular in it, and I could have
Right.
used it on that when I bought it, but I never did. And the only reason I bought it is because a friend of mine at Apple got me into the beta test program for Truth Social, the Apple app,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and I had to have an iPad. So that was the only reason why I bought it. And I got a ridiculously good deal
Right.
because our son, daughter-in-law, grandson were moving from Connecticut to Florida, and he couldn't find the power supply to it. So he figured they'd just buy a brand new one when they got down here, which is what they did. So
Right.
I'll give you, $100 for it, which I thought they turned down because Apple mentality is you buy an iPad new for $1,500 and you want $3,000 when you sell it. So
Wow. Right.
you know, and as I've said before, the funny thing about that whole beta test Truth Social thing is, I never did any of the tests.
Really?
They
They
would
just gave you a good title?
somebody was doing. I'd get an email telling me, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, and it was simple enough that I could go and look at, but it was already done for me.
Nice.
And then finally, I got mad one day and I contacted someone at Truth Social that I met, and I said, I'm not doing the test. And
And what they
they
say?
said, what do you mean? I said, I'm getting sent an email. Like I said, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. And you have until this to send it back to us. And I'd go back and I'd look, and it was already set to simple things that I could have figured out, but it was already done. And it was sent. So I just
They
kind
just wanted your name on there.
of said, no, they don't need my name at Apple. They don't need my name at Apple. Remember,
To use you as a tester.
Al Gore invented the internet.
Right.
So that's my main that's why I should be banned from the internet for life. And Steve Jobs created the devices for
Yeah.
the internet, and the only reason that would keep me on the internet is that I knew and drove Wozniak. But anyway,
That's funny.
what else is there to discuss before telling people repeats of global history that they
Right.
don't need to know about or care about anymore?
Wow. You know what I'm really shocked about is that, first of all, the movie that we talked about, The Sound of Freedom, that this is being
Go see
exposed. Yeah, it's a
some
tearjerker. Bring
somebody
Kleenex.
had it posted on Facebook, but it was a bootleg copy from BitChute.com.
Oh, the Interpol's gonna get
I
that.
was, I was afraid to go watch it because, and I said to the person privately, you understand, it's a bootleg copy. So somebody, the producers will eventually find that it landed on BitChute illegally. And they
Right.
left BitChute.
And you're a beta tester, so
And
you,
no.
you I know, but
And it left illegally. And they will be able to know everywhere that it went. And if those
right.
shared it, they're going to know everywhere it went. And the guy said to me, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's Napster all over again." That's how Napster.
No kidding.
That's what
No
Napster's problem was. And I said, "It isn't that I want to see the movie that bad. It's
illegal to put it out there.
And it isn't even, I beta tested at Apple one time, or I did this for this company at one time. It's more, it's illegal, and they're going to take my, Facebook will take my internet away from me.
Right. Well, what I was bringing up the movie for was to say it's getting so obvious. The corruption and the crooked deeds and all these things that are happening. Are they giving us the Dinesh D'Souza with the 2,000 mules?
Yeah.
That was exposed right away. What are we supposed to do? See these things and forget about it? Are they showing us this so we're like, oh, that's ridiculous. That's just conspiracy? Or what are we supposed to? Yeah, how are we supposed to think?
I think it's, and I've said it before, it's like we see a movie or a TV show,
right?
And 5 years after it's ended, we're living it. Like, remember V, where the aliens came here to steal all of our resources? And I think it was water. It started with they came here to steal all of our water.
Okay.
And they enslaved us, like the kids in digging up the cobalt and lithium. They enslaved us to get the water out, and we were all going to die. And after they got all the water, we were going to die, and they were going to leave. And I've always felt that after that, that's what's going to happen, because we can't be the only planet in our solar system that has life left, or the only one that ever had life. The other planets had to have life, or at some point God is going to put life on them. I mean, maybe he put stuff on Earth and decided that if it worked, it would go to the other planets. But my point is that, like I said, we see something in the movies or on TV, and then 5 years later, we're all of a sudden living it. So it was like, get the idea in our heads and then let us see it. But if they wanted us to be okay, they wouldn't report it. It wouldn't be allowed to be reported as child trafficking. And just all of this money, the government would have so much money.
Wow.
That we wouldn't be thinking about how they got it, because they're the government. And they'd be showering it down on us that we'd never have the reason to want to question anything that they do. But then again, that goes back to, at some point, the United States of America, that our founding fathers became a business, a corporation, And at some point, it either still is a corporation and we're trying to get it back to where it was, or maybe it's just too late and it's not going to come back. And I hope it does.
Yeah. Do you think they're trying to desensitize us or to make us think like, "Oh my god, that is so big and so bad, it can't be true?" Because I remember feeling that with like the Nazis and the Auschwitz and the prison camps.
Well,
You're like, "Oh my god, did that really happen?" It
it,
seems so
the big the
atrocious.
big mistake that I feel is that I guess for the longest time, and it may still be, it was not taught in German schools. I mean,
Oh,
so they grew. The impression I'm getting is that they didn't learn it because of how bad Germany lost,
wow, right?
and it wouldn't have fit in with Hitler. I mean, if Hitler had lived and still ran the country for God knows how long, and then the next Nazi took over, it wouldn't have fit in with their plan. Plus, he was supposed to be China, the way I see it. He
Right.
he wanted to be the ruler of the world. I personally think that sometimes all of these wanted to be the rulers of the world eventually did themselves more harm than good because they were so busy worrying about capturing this land and that land and not taking care of their own land and their own people that, like Mike Pence, we
Yeah, he is a weasel.
we should just put it all on boats, I'm thinking, and parachutes and fly over Ukraine and 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 drop it.
Man, what
And I
I can't stand the most, and this is not, I mean, this is history. It's not a secret, but they should start protecting history more and hiding secrets so we don't tie things together. Like they're hiding, like how we were talking about them hiding um the 6,000 Jews that died during Hitler's reign.
6 million.
I'm sorry, I said that.
That's
Oh
okay.
my
No,
God,
no, 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 no. You're fine. You're fine.
that was terrible.
You're
Pardon
fine.
me. Anyhow, the world leader who killed the most people in history is Mao,
Yep.
the Chinese leader, and the way he did it, it wasn't like he didn't have these regular, he didn't have gas chambers, he didn't have regular firing squads. He just starved the people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dear God, that's sick. He starved a nation, the biggest nation
Hmm.
on earth, China. My God. And
Well,
it feels like that's happening again. And we have this idiot with the horn rim glasses, Gates. And, if he can't do it with his shots or vaccines, he's going to do it with these petri dishes, making our food out of what cells. And to make the cells grow fast, he uses cancer cells. And now everyone who does get food is going to eat cancer. And it's scary. He's doing it all over again, but under a different guise. And he's going to come out shiny like he's the guy that fed the world because he made all this meat in petri dishes
yeah.
mixed with cancer, but don't tell him that. It's sick. Do you
Yeah.
see another? Go ahead. Sorry, Dave.
No, I was just going to say that because I've experienced it. I had COVID. I don't know. I don't
Right.
know what strain it was. It was 6 weeks ago. I think Donna said. I didn't think it was that long ago. Uh, and as I had said, from people that told me that they had it, it was just at the worst, it was like a bad flu bug,
Right.
and you know, sore throat, and you slept a lot, you didn't have any appetite,
Right.
and not this thing that I thought I was going to end up. I mean, I was paranoid that I was going to end up in the hospital on a ventilator and not come home.
Oh,
And
right.
I even said that to my neurologist when I was in seeing him, that would be my fear, because there, like I said, there's a pill, the antibiotic. I think it's Paxlovid or it's Paxlo something, and I
Right.
can't remember the name. I can't take it because my bipolar mood stabilizer it interferes with, and it could be deadly. So the only other option, if I were to ever get it again, is to go into the hospital for an IV of something else.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I said, people that go into the hospital with COVID don't come out of the hospital. And he was like, "It's not true." You know,
Maybe it is.
well, maybe it
Well,
is.
if you get put on a ventilator, that's scary.
You know, and I'm the wrong person for all of that because I wake up in the middle of the night again. It's like 2 nights ago, I woke up with a stuffed nose and my throat was sore. And the next morning, I said to Donna, "It's back." And
Oh,
she's like, "No, it's just a cold." She heard me in the bathroom the night before because every once in a while I go through a sneezing fit and that just launches a cold and that's it. And I
right.
just have to wait for it. Now, don't get old. They'll put you on some kind of allergy medication all the time. That some days it works and some days it doesn't. And, you know, but just some days I don't know. Some days it's funny. I'll just log on to Facebook and I'll just sit here and stare out the window and go, is it really as bad as they're telling us? And if it's not, why are they telling us it's that bad?
Wow.
You know,
To control us with fear.
you know.
That's what they can do right now, but that's good. I'm glad you haven't got it yet, the
A,
fear.
a friend in New Hampshire uh, said something today about them controlling the weather. And I said, well, I guess it's bad enough now that they think they control the climate and they can make it, as warm or as cold as they want anywhere they want. Figure they can control the weather. And
Right.
obviously they must be because, great guys like Jerry, who, uh, you know, your internet and how it works really is dependent on the weather. And
They make it rain. You're
if
right.
you have satellite internet, rain is the absolute worst thing that you want. I mean, it's just you can't you have to kind of think of it as this is an internet wave kind of going through the atmosphere. But rain hits it and screws it up, and and
Right.
the worse the weather is, the harder the signal, and you know take out the internet, and that's our communication, and we're down. I mean,
Right.
you have to look at this. Prior to Barack Obama, we were watching TV. We were getting our news on TV. The
Right.
internet was kind of new, and people were starting to play
Yeah.
with. And then he decided, no, this isn't going to work because nobody's going to watch TV anymore. They're all going to be on the internet. They're all only going to be watching whatever they want to be watching.
Whatever. Yeah, Al Gore gave us to watch on the
Or
internet. That's so funny.
Al
He
Gore made
probably
Al
had
Gore made money off the internet, and then he took his network and sold it to Al Jazeera, the bad people, or rumored to be bad people. You know, uh, I remember when everybody was saying that most of what Al Qaeda was sending us, the beheadings and all this and the other stuff, was really just stuff done in front of a green screen because most of it just didn't line up with what was going on. And then all of a sudden that went away for a while. People were saying that Al Qaeda had one of the best production studios in the world. Uh,
wow.
they got all the money; they might as well.
So we were just watching
Well,
a
that's what
show.
some people were saying is that, to me, I mean, when you take a blade, a sword, and you swing it across somebody's head and it's not there, uh,
Wow.
for a minute, like most people do, look at it and go, did you guys really just whack that guy's head off? You know, uh, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sad that we've had to have gotten to that to that point. And all these guys
Desensitized.
are dead and up in heaven or hell or wherever they are, and they're up there with guys like I said, like Ronald Reagan and all of our good guys, our founding fathers and whoever else. And I wonder, because we as Jews were never really taught there's a heaven and there's a hell. We were just taught that you do your best to live by the 10 rules that God gave us. And you can't live perfectly. I mean, I think God understands that, sooner or later you're going to break at least one of them, if not all of them.
Right.
And you're going to break them all repeatedly because the deck is stacked, against you, that sooner or later you're going to break them all. The worst of which is, you step on that kibble, like I said, in the middle of the night, and you let out goddamn, and, you're going.
I don't think it works like that at all, but yeah.
But I believe that, like I've said before, it's kind of like when I die, it's going to be like that scene in one of the old God movies where George Burns and John Denver were sitting at that outside cafe, and it's just going to be me, and it's going to be God, and God may turn out to be Morgan Freeman for all I know, and it's just going to be, he's going to say, did you accomplish what I sent you there to accomplish? And it's going to be me asking, what did you send me there to do? Or what did you send me there to learn? And then when he tells me, it's going to be a yes or a no. And it's going to be, do I get to come back and do it again and try to learn it? Or do I just understand that I'm not going to learn it and that I'm here and not, I'm going to fry in hell for years because I didn't do something that I should have done for somebody. Or, but I don't know. And sometimes I stare out the window, as I said a few minutes ago, and I wonder if there is a God. I said to somebody the other day, and I really said to them, before I say this to you, I don't want to insult you in any way, but your Son of God came here 2022 years ago and washed the world of your sins, and then said, I will be back to either take you home or whatever it was his words were. And he hasn't been back for 2022 years. And if you look at some of the things that have happened in 2022 years, you have to wonder why he didn't come back. Why did all of those people die in Germany? Why did all those people die in this reason or that reason? Maybe it is people have to die in order for other people to survive on Earth, but I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well,
maybe I'm not supposed to get it until I get up to heaven and God says, did you learn something? And I say, well, I just don't get it. And God says, that's what you were supposed to learn.
you don't get it.
You weren't.
That's funny.
There is no answer because I fully expect. I fully expect that one day God might just say, I sit down with my cup of morning caffeine. I have no idea what my plan is going to be for the day. And I just do it until I decide I've had enough and I go home.
Yeah, I think what the truth is, because according to the Bible, there's only one thing. There's only one thing.
Taxes.
What is that noise? Do you have a garbage disposal running?
No, someone's in the shower behind the bathroom.
Oh, okay. I'm like, let's just have the garbage disposal run to see if there's anything stuck in the sink.
No, somebody's using the bathroom. Between our room and our grandson's room is the bathroom.
Okay. Hi, Donna. I see Donna. That's awesome. Okay. But this is a crazy thing to think about because you were talking about. What'd you say?
And it's a 12-minute notice.
Okay.
Oh, Donna's filming the bathtub. That's what it is.
Oh, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
okay. Better than garbage disposal. Don't let those things run out. Anyhow, yeah, you're
Yeah.
talking about this thing they call the Great Cloud of Witnesses. You know, the people, the forefathers, the people who have gone on before you to heaven. And this is a really weird thought. I mean, this is not even in the Bible. This is just a really weird thought that I heard proposed the other day. And I was like, no kidding. These people who are like, oh, don't worry, my grandmama is praying for my safety. And this person said, are they really? Don't you think the people who went on before you are praying for you to have a quick and painless death? And I thought, oh my God, that is sick. But it
Well,
makes perfect
I,
sense
I've
because
always,
there's no stress, there's no pain,
yeah,
there's no worry. They want you to be with them,
I
they want
always
you to be
figured
with Jesus. Go ahead.
after I saw Beetlejuice, and he and his wife wake up the next morning and they're in the lobby outside of they're talking to Beetlejuice's receptionist, waiting for
Right?
waiting for their appointment. I was thinking to myself, that's gotta be great. I mean, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna cross over. Maybe I'll get lucky and God's gonna take me down to the garage and say, pick one out, and
Oh my God, a
that's
car.
what you do. I don't know if it was a vision with God or just a dream one night that stuck with me all of my life. And I've said it to you and others on broadcast before, that God said to me, stop being afraid of dying because you don't know, or you say you don't know what is going to happen when you die. And I'm sure I looked at him kind of flabbergasted and I said, but I don't know what's going to happen. And that's what scares the shit out of me. I don't
Wow.
remember who God looked like in the dream because I didn't see their
You
face.
sense, right, right. You sensed it.
And God said to me, when you die, your job is going to be the Grim Reaper's driver. But he said, he's laughing and he said, it's not like the big cloak, black cloak and skeleton
Yeah.
scary
And a
with
sickle,
the
right.
sickle that slices off everybody's head.
Oh my.
It's he said, remember the show Touched by an Angel?
Oh,
And Andrew,
what's
the
his
blonde haired guy, I don't know if most people ever figured this out.
in the white
Andrew
suit? Right.
Andrew was the Grim Reaper
You're right. He was the angel
because
of death. Oh my
his
gosh.
job was always to make sure that people knew they were going. I mean, sometimes it worked out and they didn't go, but they knew that he was there. So it was like God said to me, don't be, you and Grim, you're going to be Grim's driver. You're going to bring Grim down here to pick up whoever he is bringing home. It's not going to be like Frankenstein experiences and anything. It's
Right.
just going to be people know it's time to go. He said, now you, having been a limousine driver and a business owner, it's not going to be that big black Cadillac hearse that you used to bring people to their final resting spot. It may be a Harley one day. Y'all may show up on Harleys. It's going to be whatever that person decided their last ride home. That's what it's going to be. And I said,
Wow.
okay, I could take care of that. And then I must have said, well, how are we going to dress if we're not all wearing black robes and skeletons and sickles and all of this? And God said, I got you covered. And he threw down on the table. I still couldn't see his face. He threw down on the table the Brooks Brothers credit card. When my
Go
father
shopping.
when
Oh
my
my
father
gosh.
was working and we were living in California, Brooks Brothers was the most elite men's men's clothing store you could go to. So it was like having a Brooks Brothers charge was better than probably having the top American Express card or even having a Diners Club card, which was one of the best credit cards you could have. If that's how you're going to pay for it, it's never going to run out. It's always going to be, just go in there and take what you want and give them the card and you're set. And it actually calmed me down. Now it could be the opposite. It could be I'm going to get up there and I'm going to be, I don't know, the worst job you could think of ever happening. But at least I'm there. But,
Right.
I just don't believe that a God who can claim to be so peaceful and so loving to his children, regardless of what religion you are, says, no, you can't be with me. You go to the ovens forever, regardless of anything that you do. I believe that you can ask for his forgiveness at any time. You'll probably get it, but there's different neighborhoods of heaven, different levels of heaven, and you may move in on the ground floor, and you live in a not so nice section and a not so nice house and not this nice good job and cars and whatever you want up there, and you eventually work yourself up. I do believe that when you die, regardless of who you were and what you did, you go to God's table that night. You have dinner with God. I don't know if Jesus is there, but I've never known and I've never asked. But you go to God's table, and a lot of your relatives that were there before, they're there, and that's like your welcome to heaven dinner. But yeah, the whole idea of waking up and finding out I'm dead would be a lot easier than me, like, say, having a really bad car accident and watching them work on me or get to the hospital and flatlining and this and that and the other stuff, and then someone telling me that, oh, you died. And
that's too stressful.
Sylvia
but Dave, I think we're out of time, and you
Just
said
about.
something about dinner, and I think it's happening behind me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go eat dinner. Hey, it was fun. We'll do it again sometime.
This was great. Thanks, Dave. Thank you,
Anytime.
Jerry, for posting my mugs. This was great.
Yep.
Good night.
All right, Jen. Take care. Let's see. You got a parachute on?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Boom. That's my favorite part of the broadcast, because I used to do that to myself when I would get ticked off at people. But Jen Woodruff, it's always a lot of fun to have Jen on a broadcast, and at least on my end, ramble through a bunch of different things on the day. I hope you enjoyed something. Jerry did say, and it's down here, I'm going to slap it in because it is important. COVID was a way to murder millions, including my father, and blame it on Trump. You're 100% right. And Jerry, sometime when Michael Anthony's connection gets him connected, I want to do a broadcast, because Michael touched base on something recently where he said that Pfizer, and as far as I'm concerned, Pfizer, the company who brought the COVID shot to all of us, now evidently bought a small company, for like $6 or $7 billion. And I'm not sure I got it 100% right, which is why I said I have to do some more research. Michael is aiming me in the right direction. I have to go and actually do it. But this company that they bought evidently is the opposite. And they have a shot, which I thought Michael said, but I could be wrong, basically takes the shot out of your body. And I don't know if it is capable of returning you to where you were before you got the shot. For most of us, if you were like me and you got the Johnson & Johnson shot, and then you got the one booster and you never went and got anything else, and it's been more than a year or more since you got them, you have nothing in you anyway. I don't know if you still have any damage or residual damage from getting the shot, but you have no protection from it, which is why I got it. My neurologist said that I think I'm supposed to wait so much time and then take the current the vaccine for the current strain and the boosters. And I don't know, but it was a good show, Jerry. I'm sorry that you had your internet problems, and one of these days we'll get you through, and it'll be a good broadcast. The more people that are on, to be honest, the more people that are on with me make it a better show as far as I'm concerned, because I'm not rambling as much as I tend to ramble when I'm doing a broadcast by myself, which is why I tend to invite anybody and then want to say that if you see the link in the live chat, then come in and join. One way you help me, and you will see the link in the live chat, but one of the best ways you help me make sure that I see you when you're in the live chat is before you come to a broadcast, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Put that directly into your browser, StreamYard.com/Facebook. Scroll down about halfway, and it's a green one day, blue the next day line that says give permission. Click on that line, and StreamYard asks Facebook for permission to show your name and your profile picture in the live chat on the live producer screen. And that way I know that you're there so that I can show you when you make comments. Jerry does it on the American Rebellion. The big guys and girls do it on their broadcast. But it's just important, because if you watch and you say something, I want people to see that you were watching. You said something. Jerry did say the problem is the weather tonight. It's pouring down where he is. Like I said, the biggest problem that I see, even when Jerry's doing the American Rebellion and I'm on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, sometimes a little bit later, sometimes a little bit earlier, usually a little bit later, sometimes a lot later. The biggest problem is that where Jerry is in Florida and where I am in northeastern Florida, either the rain starts up here. By the time it clears, it's gone down to Jerry and it's pouring down there. And satellite internet, like I said earlier, in the rain is terrible. And I'm sorry that he has to put up with it. Or it'll be the opposite. It'll be pouring down there at the beginning, and he'll be popping off and on his broadcast, and then it'll get up here. And fortunately, we don't have satellite internet up here. Starlink is still something crazy. It's over, I think it's $200 a month, bare bones $200 a month for residential use up here, and $600 a month for business. It's just crazy. I love Elon Musk. I always thought that he was going to liberate the world, do what he said he was going to do with Twitter. As Jerry started to say during the broadcast, I don't think he did what he said he was going to do, other than fire a lot of people working at Twitter that shouldn't have been working at Twitter anymore. I have not seen the return, like Jerry said, of people that got bounced for no apparent reason from Jack Dorsey and company, the people that brought you Twitter before. And I haven't seen those people really get dragged before Republican House committees or Democrat Senate committees that claim they want change, they want this thing fixed. Even on Truth Social, I haven't seen Trump's thing. I haven't seen people show up all over there. I don't really want to get started on a Communications Decency Act of 1996, Section 230, blah blah this, blah blah that. It's the rules. If you want to go read the rules that aren't being enforced one day, go and read it. But the rules aren't going to be enforced until the right people are responsible for the enforcement. But anyway, like I said, enjoy the internet as you have it right now, because you're going to wake up one day, and if you think Facebook is bad, and you think Twitter is bad, you think StreetLock is bad, you think this one is bad, you think that one is bad, when it's just one government internet, you're not going to like it. And if you want to call me on that comment, find someone, doesn't have to necessarily be an illegal immigrant that came into this country that got a free phone and a free tablet. Next time you're out and about shopping and you pass one of those free tablet and cell phone, government cell phone and tablet giveaways, go in there and talk to them and take it. And you'll find out that it's really not as good as you think it is, and they control what you see and what you don't see and what you can do and what you can't do. And, not that paying for it is any better. They control what you can see and what you can't see and any of that. So for Jerry Michaels from the American Rebellion, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, sometimes a little bit later, sometimes a lot of bit later. I hope you go watch that. Jen's on a lot. I'm on not as much as I would like to be. As I said earlier in this broadcast tonight, sometimes I've looked at it, and if I hit all the broadcasts that I want to hit in the course of a week, I probably wouldn't have to do very many of my own. The one I do like doing is Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. When that's available, I call it a rare Saturday Boogie with the Bull, Uncensored. That's one of my favorites because you never know. Sometimes we get a lot of people watching. Sometimes we don't get anybody watching. And a lot of people watch the podcast. I don't ask that you catch me every time I'm on 7 p.m. until after 9 p.m. like it is now. If you can't, watch it when you can. I didn't do a whole lot of sharing tonight. I'll get it into the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot Talk public group. I'll get it into MAGA News Nation public group, the New United Media Group Uncensored. I'll get it into there. I'll get it into our 4 private groups: American Regulators, Conservative Freedom Defenders, Red Patriots for America, the Hardcore Conservatives group. I'll slam it into a bunch of other places. I did slam the promo into a bunch of groups, and hopefully the people in those groups will come and watch it. And as I always say, if you want it in your group and you don't see it in your group, let me know, and I'll make sure it gets into your group, either as a podcast or as the live. And if you want to come on, all you got to do is message me anytime, Facebook Messenger, Dave Goldman, and tell me who you are, what you are, when you would like to do your broadcast, and or when you are available to join ours. The times that we have available, but they're not always hardcore, it's going to be every week, are Sunday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, and the rare Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. If those times work with you, let me know, and we'll do something. I always tell people, if you've got something going on in your state, your city, your county, your town, your car, wherever you are going to be, and you think everybody else should be able to watch it and be there with you, let me know, and we'll work with you as well. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up right now because we're 7 minutes over time. And we did do enough. I'm Dave Goldman. You're not. This is the time of the program when I say you're watching Boogie with the Bull Uncensored, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. That means we own everything associated with the show. Nobody in China does. Equal time is given to responsible parties with opposing views. That means if you're in the live chat and somebody upsets you, or you're watching and somebody says something that upsets you, you have a right, as long as that person is willing to come on camera. It will be a panel broadcast with an equal number of panel members, and both of you can cry about what happened, and the panel will try to make a decision that makes everybody happy. Facebook user, whoever you are, what you need to do the next time you watch a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, before you do it, is go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Scroll down, you'll see the line that says give permission. Click on that, answer the questions, and then the next time I'll see who you are when you when you do it. But I'm going to wrap it up because it's almost bedtime, and I think I'm going to be in bed early. I think I'm going to be in bed early. Plus, Jerry said it's raining down where he is in Florida, and by the time it stops raining, it'll probably be raining up here this week. We're going to get a night full of rain, and it's just not right. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. And if you liked it, share it. If you didn't like it, share it anyway. Anyway, we'll hit this one. Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is coming to an end. We'll come down and